Something special and unique to offer. Each region attracted newcomers from other places, but their arrival set the stage for conflicts with these American Indians, whose ancestors had been dwelling in these regions for many thousands of years. How regions shaped our nation. What do America's religions have to do with the story of our country? Each region had a special something that defined it, a combination of geography, climate, and a unique mix of different cultures that settled there. These are some of the faces of America's past. Each tells a story. For the American Indians, it was of loss, sorrow, survival, and finally cultural revival. For the African Americans torn away from Africa, it was one of the struggle, oppression, and a long fight for equality. For for millions of immigrants from Europe and Asia, it was one of great sacrifice, new beginnings, and hope. Different regions attracted different groups, yet all helped to shape our nation. The Great Move. In the years following the Civil War, a restless spirit grabbed many people in America. Many American families packed their belongings and headed to new regions to seek their fortunes. At the same time, troubles overseas led to waves of immigration. Newcomers continued to come from Ireland and Germany, but bigger numbers began arriving from Eastern and Southern Europe, Russia, Italy, and the nations in between. They crammed aboard ships to sail to the northeast. There, there, the new arrivals found work in many factories, barely making a living but hoping that their children would have better lives. Changing lives. For the millions of African Americans freed from slavery in the 1860s, the chance to start anew was a powerful draw. Some moved to rural areas of the West, and in the late 1880s, 1 in 4 cowboys was an African American. Many more who left the rural South moved to cities in the South, the Northeast, the Midwest, or the Far West. Immigrants from Europe also headed to the Midwest to build farms and start new lives, but for the American Indians who had long called this region home, the coming years would bring heartbreak. Coming to Gold Mountain. In the West, the discovery of gold in 1848 led to a huge influx of newcomers. Thousands of Chinese immigrants crossed the Pacific Ocean to escape famines and floods in their homelands. Dreaming of gold and glory, immigrants from Japan, Korea, and the Philippines later came to Hawaii to work on the pineapple and sugar plantations there, before some of them continued on to the U.S. mainland to seek better opportunities. For many, one. That is what our nation's motto, E pluribus unum, means. Many regions with different resources and cultures grew into one thriving nation. People from Asia, Europe, and Africa eventually stood alongside America's first peoples, joining together to build one remarkable country. This is their story. Alaska, Hawaii. Vast natural resources led to jobs in the oil fields, at fisheries, and on plantations. Pacific. Majestic forests in the Pacific Northwest provided lumber, while fertile soil farther south was perfect for growing fruits and vegetables. Rockies. Silver mines like this one drew adventurous souls searching for riches. Southwest. Wide open spaces were a good place for cattle ranching. Northeast. Great harbors led to centers of trade, which led to the growth of the business and industry. Midwest. Thousands of square miles of farmland, including wheat and cornfields, helped feed the growing nation. Southeast. Cotton and tobacco plantations linked to markets by rivers produced by valuable cash crops, but the demand for cheap workers led to poor treatment of many people.